Hello, my name is John Jay, the first Chief Justice of the United States. I'd like to talk to you today about the current generation of culture in the United States. There's a misconception about the First Amendment which wrongly rules. Let us go back to the country when it was first started under the Constitution. President George Washington took the oath of office on April 30th, 1789. At Federal Hall in New York City. The nation's capital in 1789 was New York City. Then it moved from 1790 to 1799 in Philadelphia, and from 1800 on, Washington, D.C. has served as the nation's capital. Washington took the oath of office by putting his hand on the Bible. He ended by saying, "So help me God." In his inauguration speech, Washington thanked God for his providential care on the nation. Does that shock you that there was all this talk about God after the Constitution and Bill of Rights were signed and ratified? In your generation, you are told that the Constitution is godless. We beg to differ greatly. What did we do after President Washington took the oath of office? We, the members of House of Representatives, Senate, and other leading government officials like myself, walked about 6 blocks from Federal Hall to St. Paul's Chapel and held a worship service to dedicate the new nation to God. The Speaker of the House was Reverend Frederick Muhlenberg. Madison, the architect of the Constitution, attended. Jefferson was not there. He was still out of the country, and just to bring this point up later, he was not at the Constitutional Convention either. At the same time that the Constitution was approved, the Northwest Ordinance was approved, 1787. Article 4 states that education and morality shall forever be encouraged. Until 1962. Now it doesn't say 1962, it says it shall be forever encouraged. That same Northwest Ordinance forbade slavery in the Northwest Territory. It seems that in your time it is forbidden to mention the 3-letter word, God, in public. If it was forbidden at the Constitution, why would they choose me to be the first Chief Justice? On December 23, 1776, I was asked by the New York Convention to write a letter to help with the morale of the people of New York. We had been defeated on so many battles, and they asked me to address the people in these difficult times. In that address, I mentioned God and having faith in God 33 times. It was also translated into German at government expense. Read it sometime instead of Thomas Paine. Look at the top line of the Treaty of Paris, which I drafted. It says, first words in double the size of the other letters, in the name of the most holy and undivided Trinity. I was fully known as a Christian. Continental Congress voted me as president from October 1778 till September of 1779. During that time, I made a recommendation for a day of prayer on May 20th, 1779. Take the time to read it, and also check out all the days of prayer that Continental Congress recommended. We had at least once a year, sometimes twice, during our struggle for independence. When the Supreme Court, under the Constitution, had its first session, we had a 4-hour communion service in New York. Was I kicked out for honoring God? You all have been hypnotized by 3 things. All the founders were deists and atheists. There is no place for God in the public square. And separation of church and state. The words separation of church and state do not appear in the First Amendment. They first appear in a letter from Thomas Jefferson to Baptist in Danbury, Connecticut in 1802, which is 15 years later. Remember that Jefferson was not in with the Constitutional Convention. Let me read what the First Amendment itself says. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or promoting the free exercise thereof. So Congress is not supposed to prohibit the free exercise of religion, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. I would ask you to check out the website www.1776faith, where it shows that 54 of the 56 signers of the Declaration of the Independence had a Christian worldview, and 36 of the 39 signers of the Constitution had a Christian worldview. Folks, there are more people in the room than just Franklin and Jefferson. And I would have a little surprise at the end here. I would like for you to see a picture of St. Paul's Chapel and where it is today. You will be surprised to see in the background the World Trade Center. God is reminding us to turn back to Him. Thank you for your time.